Hello and welcome to What's Up Punk. We're taking a look at the myriad subgenres underneath the umbrella of punk. Today we'll be taking a look at Teslapunk. Let's sing the body electric. What is Teslapunk? Teslapunk holds a lot of similarities to steampunk. Airships soar through the skies, trains speed along tracks, but Teslapunk is more advanced than steampunk, less grimy than dieselpunk, and less advanced than cyberpunk, with lots of Tesla coils and zappy zaps. It's sometimes mistakenly called electropunk, which is a style of music combining punk with electronic music, which will be getting its own video one day. Because the man's got his name on it, he also pops up in a starring role, sometimes as Bond's Q dispensing gadgets like in Order 1887, giving the Order access to one of my favorite weapons, the ever-popular Tesla or Arc Cannon, based off Tesla coils. Oh, he also gave him radios. Or just as Nick with some better and worse breaks in life, Close to the Sun, where he has his own Rapture-sized ship full of dead scientists doing the good work, like controlling the weather, or drawing electricity from the flow of time. Don't ask, it has something to do with the one electron theory. Takeaway, Tesla doesn't do anything small. Okay, so before we progress further, I have a proverbial bee in my proverbial bonnet when it comes to Teslapunk. Spoiler for later part of this video, Teslapunk spilled out of steampunk. Shocker. So first, let's untangle Teslapunk from steampunk and dieselpunk and decopunk. Steampunk is often set in the alternate timeline of the 19th century British Victorian era. More specifically during the later part of the 1837 to 1901 period.
For this is a 19th century that differs in many ways from the one in our history books. For one thing, the skies over England feature any number of elegant airships.
Our boy Tesla didn't get his start as an inventor till around 1882 and moved to America in 1885. Yeah, the two kinda knock into each other. So how do we resolve this? Clockpunk has the answer, since it also spilled out of Big Daddy Steampunk. Basically, it's a steampunk universe, but instead of the steam engine failing, Tesla's electrotech burst onto the scene and juiced it up. Also, instead of being a mirror of Victorian values and adventure, it's America in the 1800s. Also corpos and corrupt govs. The more things change, the more they stay the same. But enough tongue waggling from me to know the man, the myth, the legend. Best to hear it from the crazy ass scientist that informed me on the man who invented the 20th century. Take it away, Doc.
Greetings and welcome to you, brave citizens of our new world. I am Toronto's greatest supervillain and evil genius, Dr. Terawatt. This is an undisclosed subterranean recording facility, and today I'm going to talk to you about a specific individual who was probably the greatest inspiration for me becoming a supervillain and shaping my identity through many of my formative years. It is, of course, Nikola Tesla. Now, surprisingly, very few people these days are familiar with the life and times of one of humankind's most eccentric, badass, and volumetrically insane scientific supergeniuses. The Croatian-born engineer spoke 8 languages, almost single-handedly developed technology that harnessed the power of electricity for household use, and invented things like electrical generators, FM radio, remote control, robots, spark plugs, fluorescent lights, and giant-ass machines that shoot enormous, brain-frying electric bolts all over the place like crazy, but we will get to that. For instance, in 2007, a group of lesser geniuses at MIT got all pumped up out of their minds because they wirelessly transmitted energy a distance of 7 feet through the air. Nikola Tesla once lit 200 light bulbs from a power source 26 miles away, and he did it in 1899 with a machine he built from spare parts in the middle of the godforsaken desert.
Nikola Tesla built this in a cave with a box of scraps!
Sir, I'm not Nikola Tesla.
To this day, nobody can really figure out how the hell he pulled this off, because 2/3 of the schematics only existed in the darkest recesses of Tesla's all-powerful brain. Now, like many of us mad scientists, Tesla was also completely insane. He was prone to nervous breakdowns, claimed to receive weird visions in the middle of the night, spoke to pigeons. a lot. Like, he really talked to those pigeons. And occasionally thought he was receiving electromagnetic signals from extraterrestrials on Mars. He was also obsessive-compulsive, hated round objects and human hair, jewelry, and anything that wasn't divisible by 3. He was also asexual and celibate for the entirety of his life. He is the basis by which all other mad scientists measure themselves. Another sweet thing about Tesla is that he conducted the sort of crazy experiments that generally result in hordes of angry villagers breaking down the door to your lab with torches and pitchforks. There was one occasion in particular when he was working on magnetic resonance. He discovered the resonant frequency of the Earth and caused a localized earthquake so powerful it almost obliterated the Fifth Avenue, New York building that housed his Frankenstein castle of a laboratory. Stuff was flying off the walls and drywall was blasting apart and the cops were coming after him and Tesla had to smash the device with a sledgehammer to keep it from demolishing the entire city block. Later, it is said, while in police custody, that he threatened if they did not release him, he would eventually build another machine so powerful it would split the Earth in half. It is said he was then summarily released. Tesla also ordered the construction of the Wardenclyffe Tesla Tower, a giant building that would have housed the largest Tesla coil ever built. The massive structure, ostensibly designed to wirelessly transmit power, has been cited as a potential cause of the mysterious 1908 Tunguska event, a 10-megaton blast that detonated the wastelands above central Russia, that completely obliterated and deforested everything unlucky enough to be located within a several hundred-mile radius. While nothing has ever successfully proven Tesla's involvement in the ass-destroyingly huge explosion, it's pretty awesome that this guy could have potentially detonated a weapon 1,000 times more powerful than the nuclear bomb that destroyed Hiroshima before even the invention of the submachine gun. Scientists today still like to believe that a large meteor just entered the Earth's atmosphere, reached such a temperature that when it was a few miles above the Earth, it just detonated and obliterated everything in the whole area, leaving no trace of the meteor. However, Tesla did have a facility up there. Tesla was also known for other things, like how he harnessed the power of Niagara Falls into the first hydroelectric power plant, constructed a bath designed to clean the human body of germs and dirt using nothing but electricity, and created a 130-foot-long bolt of man-made lightning from one of his massive coils, a feat which I believe to this day still remains the world record for man-made lightning. But, if I may, his most badass invention was the face-melting, tank-destroying, super-secret atomic death ray. In the 1920s, he claimed to be working on a tower that could potentially have spewed forth a gigantic beam of ionized particles capable of disintegrating aircraft from 200 miles away and just erasing men from existence. His weapon, known as the Teleforce beam, would fire supercharged bits of mercury from an open-ended vacuum that he invented, which had the potential to transfer, get this, 80 million volts of electricity to its intended target, delivering enough power to literally vaporize tank armor. I need you to just, I have to repeat that for just the sake of making sure that you understand. This isn't melting tank armor. This is vaporizing it. This is erasing it from existence. And while it could shoot further than 200 miles, its effectiveness beyond that range, it was said, was limited only by the curvature of the Earth. At the age of 81, at a luncheon in his honor concerning the death ray, Tesla stated, "It is not an experiment. I have built, demonstrated, and used it. Only a little time will pass before I can give it to the world." Luckily for all humans, I guess, more some humans than others, this crazy insanity never came to fruition. Most of the schematics and plans existed only in Tesla's head, and when he died of heart failure in 1943, little hard data on the project existed. Still, J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI confiscated all of his personal stuff and locked it away anyways, just to be safe. Despite being incredibly popular during his day, now Tesla remains largely overlooked amongst a list of other great inventors and scientists of the modern era. Thomas Edison gets all the glory for discovering the light bulb, which he didn't do, but it was his one-time assistant and lifelong arch-nemesis, Nikola Tesla, who made the breakthroughs in alternating current technology that allowed for people to cheaply use electricity to power appliances and lighting in their homes. They constantly fought about whether to use alternating or direct currents. Their bitter blood feud resulted in both of them being snubbed by the Nobel Prize Committee. But ultimately, it was Tesla who delivered the fatal kick to the crotch that ended the battle at the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago. His AC generators illuminated the entire experience, marking the first time that an event of that magnitude had ever taken place under the glow of artificial light. Today, all homes and appliances run on Tesla's AC current. Nikola Tesla was one of those super genius badasses whose intellect placed him dangerously on the precipice between great scientific mind and complete insanity. He held 700 patents at the time of his death, made groundbreaking discoveries in the fields of physics, robotics, steam turbine engineering, and magnetism, and once melted one of his assistant's hands by overloading it with X-rays, which isn't really so much a scientific breakthrough as it is just very fun to hear. And honestly, if there was one man on this planet who was ever capable of single-handedly destroying the entire world with his insane scientific discoveries, one man who truly earned the title of mad scientist and evil genius, it was Nikola Tesla. We, the villain community, salute you.
Technology. Zappy zaps. Okay, more specifically tech based around this. You thought Disney was screwing with you. Nope, real thing. Say hello to the aforementioned Tesla coil. There is no way this video isn't going to get flagged at least once. Okay, so the tech we have access to here is a bit of a conglomeration. As aforementioned by the doc, Tesla invented a lot of stuff. But I'll break it down for you as best I can. We see a lot of the same stuff we'd see in steampunk, dieselpunk, and decopunk. Airships, advanced rails, to even point of maglev tech, Art Deco style robots, mechs, and anything that relies on radios. As long as it is further advanced by abundant electricity. This is typically seen in two forms, one being Tesla being part of special operations. In the World of Wars Glam, he was the man behind reverse engineering tech from the tripods to create human tripods. But his main claim to fame was figuring out how the aliens' death rays worked. Irony. Or the other way it can play out is he is the technological singularity that pushed tech further, just more so than he did in our original timeline. Yeah, the more techie out there might think, it seems like they're flaunting the watts and like there's a girth of electricity being used and they don't really care if they lose some amps for the aesthetic. Cause they're not. Remember that whole wireless electricity thing? No one wants to invest in it because they couldn't figure out how to make a profit on it. Arms, bombs, atomics, supermen. Nah, you want to watch the world burn, be a short-sighted corpo, or a smart man with a really good idea.
Welcome to the human race.
Now the how is up to interpretation. Sometimes a man-made electrical storm, other times tapping into electromagnetism of the planet. Aesthetic. Uncanceling the future. A tale of two Teslapunks. Okay, before we get into it, I want to bring up something Indigo XYZ18 put me onto based off Tyler Cohen's work after I posted the Ray Atomic Punk video. If so inclined, please check it out. Pill form, we've been technologically stagnated by our reliance on fossil fuels. We've taken the Industrial Revolution as far as it's going to go, giving way to the Information Age. I'd personally go a step further in saying that the fear of losing it, seeing as it's a non-renewable resource, has also caused us to go from building grander to building smaller and more efficient as evolution wants to do. See the change from Autobots to Maximals. So why the tongue waggle in relation to Teslapunk? The reality you currently occupy is the way it is because of accumulation of choices. Steampunk is a fantasy of what the world could be. Dieselpunk is the world progressing through a near never-ending war. Decopunk is if we got drunk on our own opulence. Atomic punk is the cautionary tale of the abuse of the atomic power. Teslapunk, and to a latter degree, Clockpunk, is what I feel we could have been if not for Roll the Dice.
First time I tried to change the world, I was hailed as a visionary. Second time, I was asked politely to retire.
Of course, you wouldn't freaking know that if you looked at the canon of Teslapunk. Yeah, it's one of those again. Just like other punk genres before it, we have a disconnect between the visual medium and what Teslapunk is depicted as in art and short stories. I will describe 8% of what I found by my usual crass way. Tesla, science this bitch. Nikola, science this bitch. Nick, science this bitch. He's a man of what does the science, so he does the science. This is honestly fine, and an example I mocked will appear in my recommendations. It's just, dear God, punk's so inclined to make more, do more. This is a very interesting genre that does not get enough love. Anyway, visually, Teslapunk shares much in common with other punk genres, mostly steam and diesel punk, stretching to Raygun Gothic, aka Atom or Ray Punk. Though honestly, that's a little bit of a stretch, because the Ray Punk of it all is really just, Death Ray. That's pretty much it. That's all the to Atom Punk, Ray Punk of it all is just Death Rays. When it comes to the diesel punk influences, we're definitely in the Pipecraft version of diesel punk, so a bit more grimy. However, where the two divert is the power they draw from, i.e. diesel versus electricity. On the fashion side, we lean more towards steampunk fashion, Victorian style clothing such as suits, waistcoats, top hats, long dresses, lace, leather, and brass are common materials. And the usual accessories that are known for steampunk: brass, copper, jewelry, pocket watches, monocles, goggles, of course all enhanced by electricity. Neon multicolored lighting being very popular. On the flip side, really brilliant bluish white light very popular. The punk element of Teslapunk usually emerges as the free energy, electronically empowered masses ethos that challenges the energy scarcity and monopoly ethos. Okay, now, like a lot of punks I cover, we're getting to the stuff that should honestly really be in Teslapunk, but somehow I just didn't find any of it. If your own travels do find something Teslapunky of what I'm about to explain, please tell me. Lichtenberg figures. For those that don't know, they're branching electric discharges that sometimes appear on the surfaces and the interior of insulated materials. These should totally be made into complex sculptures, glass, windows, art, or are used as inspiration for embroidery in a Teslapunk world. Drinks with lighting or electricity suspended in them, now that is extreme electrolytes. A corpo war between Tesla and Edison, don't know how that one doesn't come up more often. And earthquake machines. Yeah, if it wasn't for the doc, I wouldn't even know about this. He machined geomancy. Oh my god, that was an Arrow plotline. Where did Teslapunk start? It started off with steampunk, then with the internet, a rediscovery of Tesla's work. It's perfect for spawning all sorts of myths and conspiracy theories, writing just what the man was creating in his laboratories, especially given how his later work was stolen by the Gov's Office of Alien Property Custodian, that jacked assets from the nation's enemies, or apparently crazy-ass naturalized scientists. Some of it was returned and some of it was never found, likely studied by top men.
Ooh, top men.
Mixing fact and fiction and conspiracy theories with the framework of steampunk, add a dash a few other punks, and boom, Teslapunk. Real life Teslapunks. Elon Musk. Ha! Nope. I honestly don't have anything against the man. Helps that I like flamethrowers, the Cybertruck, and I don't really like Twitter. As for the blood diamonds, yeah, that's the line. Likely given how Edison kind of screwed over Tesla, I don't think he'd be particularly happy that someone took his name and used it for their giant corpo company. But yeah, there's my Tesla joke if anyone was waiting on that. Please tell me no one clicked on this video thinking it was a punk genre about him. I'm not sure my heart can break, but that would do it. Anyway, any mad inventor trying to find a new or exotic way to generate electricity, build death rays or electro weapons, you are a Teslapunk. My recommendations. The Order 1886. Why was this so panned? Is it perfect? No, you don't find enough kindred, but overall it's a fine launch game. The Order 1886 is set in alternate history, 1886 London, where an old order of knights keeps the world safe from the kindred, werewolves and vampires. During the autumn of 1886, London is plagued by both attacks by the kindred and anti-government insurgents. However, London is still London, so even though they got thermal imaging, railguns, zeppelins, and wireless communications, their true enemy may be deeper in the shadows than the knights believe. War of the Worlds, Goliath. 10 years after the initial attack from Mars, humanity has pulled themselves together using reverse-engineered tech to form Ares.
I get it!
An EDF organization made of representatives from each nation, readying themselves for the Martians' return, and just as they finish a new breed of mech called the Goliath, World War I kicks off. Weakened, can Ares defend the Earth, or will they just avenge it? Admittedly, some of the points on this one come from the amazing voice cast, and the animators knew it. No way this is a coincidence. Downside, the character models are not great, with everyone having ridiculous shoulders, and some of the animation is pretty cheap. Overall, a fun movie that I feel like it was trying to set up a series. Close to the Sun. This game sucks. It is 100% here because of the aesthetic and the story, and honestly, the story is not great. However, this is one of the few examples I found of an actualized Teslapunk world, so here we go. On Helios, a gigantic retro-styled ocean liner, serving as the haven for the greatest scientific minds. So, Rapture, but on a big-ass boat. The Wardcliffe Company, headed by Tesla, is said to supply electricity to half the world, but desires to supply the other half as well. I'm assuming using Tesla towers and artificial lightning storms, like how the Helios is powered. As I said, Nick don't do anything small. So the next big idea is to tap time for electricity. I think we can all see what's going to happen next. Pretty remedial. A resinous cascade that woke up a bunch of pissed off Langoliers.
Of course!
Anyway, because of some time shenanigans, Rose Archer, a meteor, arrives on Helios to find her sister Ada, the head researcher of the Time Project. The game is atmospheric and beautiful with a non-ending, and the game loop is very appropriate because this one is just running around the ship with a few puzzles. Electric City. Oh, this one's gonna need some explaining. Mostly because I don't think people remember it, because I barely remember it, and I just reference M. Bison from Street Fighter and the Langoliers, which, full disclosure, I honestly thought were called the Tommyknockers. One more reference. It's not this. Electric City, created by Tom Hanks on Yahoo. Yes, Yahoo, that streaming giant. Back in 2012. The series begins after the world has ended. Post-apoc Teslapunk. Don't say I don't give you a variety. Mankind is reduced to a small settlement whose main business is to produce electric power through air, water, or muscle power. While this is a thriving society, there are still secrets, back alley deals, daring chases, murder, and shadow governments. Also, youth and rebellion is a illegal building and distribution of telegraphs and later radio receivers.
Can't stop the signal now.
Now, I know, face value, it doesn't look very Teslapunk. Here's my argument. We have the Zappy Zaps. Tesla's one of the first to discover radio, and electricity is the central plot and thematic. It's just the opposite. Instead of using it to the extreme, it's hoarded. This is also the most punk of my recommendations, where the line between good guy and bad guy is a matter of perspective. Atomic Robo. Nope. Atomic Robo is not explained. Atomic Robo is experienced. Chaos Theater Gold Standard Project. I'll give you this. It's about a robot made by Tesla that shares my sense of humor and goes on Pulp Adventures. If that sounds like your jam, go right ahead. How do I feel about Teslapunk? I like it. There's a lot of potential here. If more work took up the aesthetic, there's a chance this could be just as well known as Dieselpunk, and Dieselpunk is pretty well known. Sign out question. This is less of a sign out question and more of a call to arms, as my Google has failed me. The Curiosity is a Teslapunk movie written by one of my favorite writers, Travis Beacham. He wrote Pacific Rim, Carnival Row, etc. Screen Crush has seen the movie and it won an award at a festival, so the movie does exist. I just can't find anything but this trailer, and those points of info. If anyone knows where I can see this, let me know. Thank you, Doc Terawatt, for your assistance on this video.
Well, I could do things like
Eat a giant sandwich if the sandwich was made of cake, and the cake was nothing short of the absolute truth.
Please check out his sort of Skynet of a son on Twitch interacting with the humans. Link in the description. Well, this has been What's Up, Punk. Till next time, remember, never go out on a swan song. Always go out on a battle cry. But keep on being no good, dirty punks. You know it, you love it, here's the spiel, let's do it. Hit subscribe to be my subscriber. Hit the bell so you know when I've actually posted stuff. Still no idea why those two things are separate now, but whatever. And of course, hit like to appease the algorithm gods. All fear and praise. On a list of whatever YouTubes, I am also probably not going to get any ad revenue for these videos, so if you would be so kind, check out that Patreon and the GoFundMe. Links in the description.